Hello, this is Mr. Rogers, and this is Chapter 2, or Part 2 of our gaming series in Scratch. So what I'd like you to do is make sure you're in your account, so sign in. And then we're going to go and press, in the regular Scratch, we're just going to go to Create. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of Scratch, because this is kind of a donut scoring game, like drop the donut, catch the donut. So we're going to come to the garbage and delete Scratch. We're going to go to the sprites. We're going to choose a new sprite, and it's in food. And we're going to click on the donut. Now the donut's in there. Excellent. We're going to create what's called a variable. And variables are wonderful because they allow us to put whatever numbers we want in later. And in this case, we're going to create a variable called score. So we're going to be creating scorecards like in the last video. So make a variable, calling it score. And just leave it for all sprites. Press OK. And we're good to go. And you should actually see the score up here like we saw in the last game. Well done. Now, with the donut clicked, that'll be fantastic. We want to get some code on this donut. We want to drag out some code. So let's go to Events. I'm going to bring out a flag. After that flag, we are going to add a set score code. So we go to Variables, and this would be set score, and we're going to set it to 0. Now it says my variable to start, so just switch it over to that one we made. It's called score. So when we press the flag, the score automatically resets. And now we're going to reset a timer. So you're going to go to settings, sensing, and then down here there's one called reset timer. So there's a timer in this game. I'm going to go up here to motion. We're looking for point in direction. And in this case, we want it to be 180. You can click that and drag that down here to 180. Looking good. The next block we're going to do is a go-to block. So we're still in motion, which is great. So we're going to be using go-to. In this case, we want X and Y. So on the X and Y axis, click that. And we're going to have it, since it's a game, we're going to have it go into some random places. So we're going to go to Operators. And then there's this Pick Random block. And we're going to put that in X. So on the X axis, it's going to pick a random spot from -200 to 200. So from very low to very high. And in the Y block, we're going to have that be 105. So 105. Great. So far you should have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks in. And you can always scrub the video back if you didn't catch all that. Now we're going to go to Control. And we're going to be getting a repeat until block. Notice the hexagon. We're going to be getting another sensing piece for the hexagon. And this time it's about timer. So we're going to get a greater than block. It's a little bit of math. So it's going to be greater than, because we want this timer to be greater than a certain number when it runs. So we have that in there. So the greater than, see the droop droop. Looks like a bigger than, greater than. We're going to go to sensing. We're going to grab timer. And we can snap that timer block right in there. All right, just fits beautifully. And that's the timer that's going to be running. And then in this other side, we're going to have it be greater than 30. Probably 30 seconds. So that's good. Next, we're going to have it move repetitively. So we're going to go to motion. And we're going to set that move to 5. Great. Next, we're going to bring in another control, and this is a if and then control, which is if it does this, then it does that. And it's usually a touching piece, so let's take a look at what this is. Ah, yes, it's if it's touching the edge. So we're going to come up here to sensing. Once more, grab touching, bring that in, and rather than mouse pointer, we want it to be the edge. So if it touches the edge, what's going to happen? Well, it's going to, once again, jump around. like it did before. So it's going to do another pick random, go to motion. We're going to have a go to X and Y. And this time we're going to have it pick random like we did last time. And it's the same numbers. So it's negative 200, which is low on the field. And then 200, which is high on the field. And we're going to set this again to 105. You could have, if you wanted to, you could have duplicated this block. So that would have been maybe a little bit easier, but unfortunately you get that at the end. Now at the very bottom, we want it to say something like, it's all over. So to do that, we go to say, and just a regular say block. And we're going to add an operator to the say. It's just called join. And rather than it saying apple, it's going to say out of time. And then you scored. And then we go and get that variable that we created because it'll be collecting that data. And we bring in the score dialog and pop that in there. And that's how you build that part to the robot. And cool. So the last thing to do, and this will be all it, and then you can play around with the numbers and see how to tweak the game a little. Last thing to do would be to go to control. We're going to create another string real quick. And this is when this sprite is selected or clicked. We're going to be changing. So you actually have to catch the donut. So if you can't catch it, it's going to be jumping all over the place. So when you click that donut, you want the score to change. So you have to catch it. So in control, this is here. We want to change the score by 1. If you can actually click it, then you're going to change that score by 1 point. And after you click it, it's going to jump around again. So being ready for the next piece. And I'm going to actually copy it this time because I don't want to have to rebuild this again. So I'm going to just make a duplicate of this piece, and that's what goes here, just like the other ones. All right, and then you play the game, and let's see what that looks like. I'm curious. I have never built it before, so let's see what happens. Press play. Oh yeah, so you have to click it and have to catch it, and see I'm getting points while I do it. Now that you've done that, you can come in here and vary the speeds. So right now it's moving only 5 steps, but what if we kick that up to like 10 steps? Maybe that would make it a little harder to catch. See what I'm saying? And then you can get more of those. Notice the timer reset, and then you could go to 100, and then it would be impossible to catch it. So, but what if you were to take and duplicate the donut? So now when I press start, now I have 2 donuts, and they're kind of jumping all over the place. You see? So it can get really crazy with this game if you keep thinking about it and building and designing it. Well, anyway, this is our second scoring scratch game unit. I hope you enjoyed watching the build. I enjoyed making it. It's a lot of fun. Thank you very much.